What's up everybody, Brian Tong here, and Apple recently released the second iOS 26 beta to developers, but are they already ditching liquid glass for a more frosted glass look? We'll show you what's new in beta 2. We've got more iPhone 17 Air reports and some big news after a Bloomberg report says Apple is testing and considering using AI technology from either OpenAI or Anthropic to power Siri, potentially ditching their own internal efforts. But first, let's talk about the recent iOS 26 Beta 2 that's in the hands of developers. And I told you when I first saw it at WWDC that they were going to have to make some changes to improve the readability in many places. Now this is just the developers beta, so nothing here is final, and things can and likely will change even more. After the first beta, liquid glass still behaves the same, and some of its animations are still nice, but they needed to play with the opacity to make it easier to read, and that's exactly what they have done. You can even check out this side by side, and from the first iOS 26 beta to the second beta, when looking at Control Center, you can see a focus on blurring out the background images more on the second beta. And instead of clear controls, using a more frosted glass design that sure looks a lot like iOS 18. So it's now more opaque, with highlights still hitting its edges while coming back to a more readable iOS 18. You can even reduce the transparency even more. In iOS 26's second beta, go to your Settings app and then Accessibility, and there's an option to remove liquid glass even more, essentially completely removing some of the blurred out background so you can see everything pretty clearly, just like iOS 18. So are we already pouring out some liquor for liquid glass to now be replaced by frosted glass? Because it sure feels like it. In fact, one of my viewers, you know who you are, you sent me this, and it feels appropriate after seeing the new changes. Ouch! Okay, everybody, don't take this stuff too seriously, but let's keep it real here. Liquid glass is not the same as what we saw at WWDC 25 anymore. So what do you think about the visual changes already happening in the second beta of iOS 26? Put it in the comments, fam. Now that's not all that is new in the second beta. Apple had moved to the new tab button in Safari in the first beta and put it at the top left, but it has now returned to its rightful position on the bottom left. In the App Store, if you scroll down further at an app that you're looking at, there's an accessibility section that allows developers to list all the accessibility features that their app supports, and this is a win for everyone. The Wallet app has a cool new feature that can track your orders from mail. There's an option to let Siri scan your mail app and to find all your orders and emails from merchants easily, and they'll show up. The new ringtone that I showed you in my last Apple Bits video, that is now available as an option called Alt 1 in the Reflection ringtone. You can find it by going to the Settings app, then tap on Sound and Haptics, and then tap on Ringtone to choose Alt 1 under Reflection. And since we're talking about ringtones and calls, a new feature will now freeze your FaceTime calls with video and audio if someone starts undressing. Yes, it's a safety feature for child accounts, but it looks like it applies to adults as well in the current beta, and it freezes a call when nudity is detected. Now, I'm not exactly sure what it's looking for specifically, what it's referencing when it detects this, and I'll probably use FaceTime a whole lot less now. Okay, but in all seriousness, this is a feature that is great for children, but I'm not so sure that they should by default have this type of enforcement for adults. So we'll see how it comes together, and I'll definitely have to make sure it works properly. Now, if you're the type of user that wants live captions, the transcribe call option is now referred to as save call transcripts, and people on the call will hear a sound and audio cue before any transcribing happens. There's also a new live radio option in the Apple Music widget that wasn't there before to give you direct live radio streams quickly on your device. I like that. And if we're talking widgets, I really like this next one. Widgets that you set on your iPhone lock screen can now be moved all the way to the bottom of the display. Previously, they were only limited to the top, so it gives you some more flexibility there. And the default wallpaper for iOS 26's second beta now animates and takes advantage of the spatial scene functionality in the new beta. So it's really hard for me to really show you this, but the glass pieces will move and sometimes overlap here depending on the angle that you are looking at. So pretty cool, and spatial wallpapers are actually a really nice addition. It's not the game changer, but it is nice. So Those are just some of the new tweaks and important changes in the second developer beta of iOS 26. Now, just a reminder, we are still expecting the first iOS 26 public beta along with their other OSs sometime in July, so keep a lookout for that. Now, you know what was also discovered in the latest developer beta? Signs for the rumored iPhone 17 Air. Macworld found a version of the classic iOS clownfish wallpaper with a 420 by 912 at 3 times resolution description, which converts to a 1260 by 2736 resolution. And why is that important? That doesn't match any resolution of any current iPhone that's available right now. Ming-Chi Kuo had reported last year that Apple's ultra slim 17 Air would be a 6.6-inch display with an approximate resolution of 1260 by 2740, which is close to what was recently discovered in the iOS 26 beta. So, very interesting. Now, a recent report from leaker Majin Buu showed off, yes, you guessed it, rumored screen protectors for the entire iPhone 17 lineup, revealing a potential design change with the 17 Air's camera positioned on the left side of the dynamic island instead of the right side like the rest of the lineup, and it's also what we've been accustomed to over the past few years. It's unclear why this change is happening, but it could be because this is such a thinner design that Apple had to rearrange the layout of its components to fit this new design. Now, all 4 iPhone 17 models are expected to feature a 24 megapixel front-facing camera, which is an improvement and upgrade from the 12 megapixel camera on all iPhone 16 models. And it's just a nugget we're showing you, and the iPhone 17 Air will reportedly be Apple's thinnest iPhone released ever, with 5.5 millimeters being its thinnest point. We're expecting to see the new iPhone 17 lineup along with the new 17 Air in September, and obviously we'll be doing some breakdowns of everything that you need to know what to expect in the fall from Apple. All right, now in some bigger news, may not be as sexy though, is Siri as we know it coming to an end? Some of you might be cheering right now, but hold up. According to an in-depth report by Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, he says that Apple may fix Siri's shortcomings by partnering with either OpenAI's ChatGPT or Anthropic's Claude and use either one of their large language models as the new foundation for Siri. Now, we know how Apple has dropped the ball with their Apple Intelligence push. It's been disappointing, with little to no mention of what's next at WWDC 25 after a year of empty promises and results. I already gave it a bad apple, but you know what? Let's do it again. That's a bad apple. And I only did that because I know some of you really like that feeling. Now, Gurman's report says both OpenAI and Anthropic are training versions of their models that work with Apple's private cloud compute servers, and Apple is also running their own tests. But they have not made a final decision on whether to put Siri behind in the rearview mirror and move forward. And I think many of you watching, and myself included, we know right now, in this moment, the only way that Apple can close the gap and give us a significantly more capable Siri is with some sort of an acquisition or partnering with someone to give them the technology jolt that they need for Apple Intelligence to be more capable. Apple knows this too, but they are still evaluating the situation. The report says Apple has found that Anthropic's AI models are best fit for Siri and how they see it evolving. Apple and Anthropic has already discussed some preliminary financial terms, but Bloomberg reports that they are considering partnering with other companies because Anthropic has asked for a multi-billion-dollar annual fee that would increase over time. You know, it's just like how some Apple customers had to deal with iCloud Plus and Apple One price increases. Yeah, so, oh yeah, so now you know how it feels, Apple. Yeah, nobody likes that. All right, in some iPad Pro news, the next generation powered by Apple's M5 chip is expected to be released later this year. ZDNet Korea reports that both Samsung Display and LG Display have started mass production of their OLED displays in preparation for the updated product launch. Last year's M4 iPad was a big change in design with their thinnest and lightest iPad Pro, and it makes a difference using it if you don't have a case on it. Plus, you get those deep inky blacks on that OLED display. Gotta love it. Now, another report claims future iPad Pros could feature ultra-slim bezels by using LG Innotek's chip-on-film technology that could bring significantly slimmer bezels and more compact designs without having to sacrifice screen size. Mac Rumors says the COF technology attaches display driver chips to panels using heat compression on flexible film and sending signals to control individual pixels through thin film transistors. Now, this combination allows for tighter integration of the panel along the display's edges, and that gives you even more screen real estate on the same device with this method. Now, it could also make for a more power-efficient display as well. The report doesn't say which iPad models will be taking advantage of this display tech, but it would be specifically applied to the iPad Pro first, and it's not clear if this slimmer bezel tech is coming to the M5 iPad Pro that we expect to see really soon, or future versions of the iPad Pro. So we will see. All right, that's going to do it for this video. If you like what you see, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my latest videos when they drop. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you can check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast with the latest stories and special guests. Plus, you can support all my content with an ad-free version of the podcast, early access to my content, and exclusive content at patreon.com/BrianTong. So thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace and love.